Hey, you're the newest member of the Gun Talk After Show Club. Yeah, you're already a member since you downloaded the After Show, and that means you're serious about shooting, safety, and gun-related issues. Man, if you come to the right place, you're among friends and like-minded people here. Hey, if you're on hold, stay there, because Tom is coming back to the microphone. And during the After Show, you can take your time and really dig into those issues. So once again, here's Tom Gresham, our show producer Jim Kinsey, Michael, and Michelle.
All right, we are now in the after show because it comes not before, but after. Hey, guys, it's Michelle and Jim are with us today.
Hello.
Hello.
Did I wake you up? I'm sorry.
Darn glad to be here. Hey, isn't it great, Michelle?
Woo!
We're on the air. Okay.
Doug Niedermeyer. Darn glad to see you.
Heck
All righty. So, Michelle, tell me what you've been doing this week.
Working.
Guns, shooting, working.
A lot of working, actually.
How is the market? On the ground, what are people doing? Are they buying guns? What's going on?
There's still purchases that are being made. People are excited to find out what the new product releases are. And, of course, we're waiting that excitement as well. So here after SHOT Show and all the other industry shows happen, we'll know what the new introductions are. But
that's right.
Lots of training, lots of range time that's being purchased, which is great. Well, need to get out there and need to train.
Any idea of what's driving that?
The cold.
Okay, I got to go do something. I could go inside an indoor shooting range.
Well, I think part of it too is the fact that there's a lot of gun owners out there, a lot of new owners out there, a lot of women that come onto the range, which is exciting for us. But yesterday we hosted a family, and wow, it was exciting to watch these youngsters come in off of the. Not off the street, because we had done some training with them previously in a classroom situation, but to come in as a family of 4 children with mom and dad and shoot a couple of different guns, and the knowledge, the responsibility level that these kids had was just, it was phenomenal to watch. I say that happens all the time when you actually educate your children with a firearm instead of hiding it from them. But,
you spend time with your kids.
Exactly. It all comes down to that. And it was exciting. The kids were, I don't know, phenomenal to watch. I don't know. The words aren't there for me to express it, but it was fun. And everybody that was on the range was comfortable with their abilities, because, we do make sure that safety is the foremost, thing that we focus on with the indoor range facility. But yeah, it was exciting, and the kids had a great time.
And after all, that's when you think about it, because kids are where it's going. I mean, we're not going to be around forever to perpetuate our sport.
Well, I am. I don't know where you're going.
Everyone except Tom won't be, right?
Well, and that was one of the things that, I had expressed to a couple of people that were watching them. It's like, wow, look at them and how fun it was. And that's exactly what I said, Jim, was, what? Our goal is to be safe, but not to turn families away. Obviously, we need to get the youngsters involved in the shooting programs to keep the programs viable.
Amen.
It's a good point. You can be safe and still make it fun.
Absolutely.
Well, because it's sure not going to be fun if it isn't safe.
Right.
No, for sure. We got some folks on hold who would like to get on and chat with us, so let's do a little bit of that. Let's pick up Mark. He's on line 3. Hot Springs, Arkansas. Hey, Mark.
Thank you for taking my call. I had loaned a Winchester 1200 out to a fella, and he made the mistake of shooting a 3-inch mag through a 2 3/4-inch chamber, and nothing's working on it. I was wondering, is it able to be fixed? Where could I take it to get it fixed?
All right, Winchester 1200 pump shotgun. It's a 2 3/4-inch barrel. He shot a 3-inch mag in it. What exactly is not working now?
Well, nothing's connected. It should be. It won't chamber around. It won't exit around. None of that.
Michelle, if you walked into your store with that, what would you do with that?
I'd advise him on the purchase of a new firearm.
Right.
I mean, I really think that's where you are. I mean, obviously, we have a gunsmith on hand that could go through everything, but for probably the parts that need to be replaced. And that's a great older shotgun, but, even finding something used to replace that, not necessarily having to buy something brand new if you didn't want.
Well, the thing is, the 1200 was not an expensive shotgun. So if you said, okay, but I really like my 1200, you could probably go out and buy a Winchester 1200 shotgun for what, Michelle, $200, $250?
I was just going to say a couple $100 would probably do it.
And by the way, make your buddy buy you the new shotgun.
Oh, absolutely.
Or if he wanted, he could get one of the new shotguns that are 2 3/4 and 3-inch.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, don't get one of these. It's just 2 3/4 inch. Go ahead and get a modern shotgun. Go buy even a Remington 870, or a Mossberg 500.
Yep.
And now you're into a modern shotgun. And I got to tell you, I was never a fan of the 1200. Loved the Model 12. Never liked the 1200. And I think the Mossbergs and the 870s are definitely a step up from that gun. I think you're going to get an upgrade if you can get this guy to buy you one of those.
Hey, I had another question. Have you ever heard of these triple threat 3-barrel shotguns? And what's your thoughts on those?
Yeah, the three-barrel shotgun. I mean, if 2 is good, 3's got to be at least 1 better. Here's the problem with the 3-barrel shotgun, is that they feel like you are swinging a 2x4.
Okay.
They're heavy and they don't balance well, and it's kind of a gimmicky thing. It's kind of interesting, but if you need 3 shots, pump, automatic, whatever, there's a lot of ways to go. But a 3-barrel shotgun, I don't quite see that one. What about you guys?
I'm in complete agreement with you, Tom. I think get something that's tried and true.
Mark, I wish you luck with it. And look, I get the whole deal. I appreciate the call. Did I ever tell you guys about the buddy, with big quotes around buddy, I loaned a rifle to and never could get it back from him? And when I finally forced him to give it back to me, he had actually cut 1.5 inches off the wooden stock to fit his kid.
Oh.
Somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, somebody. Oh, my gosh. I mean, no wonder he wouldn't bring it back. He had taken this rifle, it was a Remington Model 788,
You gotta be kidding.
and cut about 1.5 inches to 2 inches off of it so it would fit his kid. I guess he just had no plan of ever giving it back. It was bizarre. Not a friend anymore, you might guess.
That kind of comes into play.
Did he disguise it? I mean, did he put a recoil pad on it? What did he do?
No, he brought it back. It was just like, here it is.
But I like the way you think.
Really?
Whoa.
Really?
Put a recoil pad on it, anything. Just cut it off.
Do something to come back and say, hey, man, I can't believe I did this. But, I mean, what are you going to do? You did it. You're going, really? But, the whole thing is, if you have a mindset to do that in the first place, you probably don't really care about what feels right or is right or looks good or how people perceive you. It's just
wow.
And so I've kind of gotten to the point where there are very few people on this planet I would loan a firearm to.
Given that experience, I could understand.
If I was Mark's buddy in Hot Springs, I would try to convince him that I didn't screw up his gun. I converted his pump to a 1-shot.
Oh, nice.
And it only had one shot.
You needed that's right. You needed a 3-inch chamber in this one. I was just trying to kind of swage it out, help you out there.
Just modified it for you.
Yeah, that's it. If that thing is broken that much, I wouldn't.
Yeah, no kid.
I'm with you, Michelle. I don't think I'd take that to a gunsmith. I'd just say, buddy, you owe me a gun.
I think that'd be the safest thing, and long-term safest thing.
So where do you feel like heading out to, Tom? Idaho or Oklahoma?
Let's go Idaho, where Mike is waiting for us, probably concealed behind a bush. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Yeah, you should never lend guns, money, or cars.
Probably a good idea, yeah, because they'll screw up your car, too.
I'm looking at a website here. It's called concealedcarryclassroom.com, and I can get a concealed carry permit right here on the internet for like about $45, and it's a Virginia concealed carry. And have you heard about this place?
No, I have not. I'm going there now. Concealed Carry Classroom, huh?
Yeah.
.com. If I could type, I'd be dangerous. There we go. Concealed Carry Classroom. So you get a Virginia non-resident permit out of this? First, I would want to make sure that it's legit. Okay, that's first order business. If you're thinking about going this way, you're in Idaho. Better check if Idaho will honor that permit. Is there a reason you would not want to get an Idaho permit?
Well, I've already been through the concealed carry course, and it's like almost $200 to do it again. See, they stole my permit when I was up in Alaska. The Anchorage Gestapo got it, and I need to replace it.
Well, if all they did was take the permit, you can get a replacement permit. But
it's expired.
Oh, okay, so you're going to have to renew it anyway. All right. Here's one thing you need to check on. First of all, I would make sure that this is legit and that you actually really do get a Virginia license. But more than that, a lot of states now will say, like in the case of Idaho, well, let's put it this way. In Louisiana, for instance, I live in Louisiana, and they would honor a Virginia non-resident permit, but they won't honor a Virginia non-resident permit issued to a Louisiana resident. Their thinking is, no, we want the money from this. So if you live in Louisiana, you can't use a non-resident permit from another state to qualify for carry here. You got to get a Louisiana permit. I would find out if Idaho has the same regulation, because if it does, then your Virginia permit is no good in Idaho.
They have a map here, and it shows Louisiana as being one of the ones that accept it, and also Idaho, too.
Cool.
And,
you mean the Concealed Carry Classroom website has the map, right? Yeah, so what that tells me is that they're wrong already. Because while a non-resident, pay attention here because this is kind of detailed, a non-resident Virginia permit is good in Louisiana unless you are a resident of Louisiana. And then your non-resident Virginia permit is no longer good in Louisiana. It may be the same thing in Idaho. If you're an Idaho resident, if you get a non-resident permit from Virginia, it may be good in all those other states, but Idaho may not honor it. So, yeah, if you check out handgunlaw.us, that's the site that I go to, handgunlaw.us. As for getting a concealed carry permit on the web, you've already been through the class, so it doesn't concern me a lot. I mean, I'm of the opinion that you shouldn't have to get a permit at all to carry concealed. Just understand that you're not going to get any real training off of getting this thing, some kind of diploma mill off the website. But that would be the thing to check on, Mike, is find out if Idaho will honor the Virginia non-resident permit for an Idaho resident. Bruce, I appreciate the call. You guys got how I was explaining that, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. The Ohio thing, for example, in about 70 days now, we'll switch over that they'll honor any state's permit now. Massive reciprocity.
Now, will they honor any state's permit, a non-resident permit from another state if you're an Ohio resident?
Let's get back to the phones, Tom. I don't know. I
don't know either.
Never had the question
that's
posed
one of those tripping points. Yeah, when people go, well, I'll just get a Florida non-resident permit because it's good in a in a lot of states.
No, you think it's just money-based?
Used to do that all the time.
Right.
Yeah, of course it is. It's just money-based.
Right, because they see Florida's reciprocity in another state, but they don't understand the key is non-resident to that. That's what the focus needs to be. Yeah.
And that's why they actually changed the reg here in Louisiana, as other states have. They said, look, we're losing money to Virginia and Utah and Florida, where people are getting these non-resident permits, and now Louisiana is not getting the money from that, so we'll put a clamp on that one.
If you got to buy an out-state permit anyway, just so you can be honored in your home state, wouldn't it just be simpler to get your home state to begin with? I mean, make a couple bucks more, but I mean,
in Mike's case, he's saying, well, he could get this for $45 for Virginia and it's $200 in Idaho, and go, yeah, okay, I understand. But do your due diligence.
There you go.
And in this case, he needs to dig a little bit further than he's dug so far. Tell you what, let's do this. Take a quick break, and they'll come back and chat with Ryan, okay?
Alrighty.
All right, we'll be right back with more After Show.
Introducing the Ruger Free Ammo and Mag Giveaway. There's never been a better time to buy the compact and perfect for personal protection Ruger LCP, or the fun and inexpensive to shoot Ruger SR22. Because for a limited time, you can buy any new LCP or SR22 pistol and get free ammo and an extra mag. Act now and buy the gun you love and get the ammo and extra mag you need for free from Ruger.
All right, we're back with you here. The After Show continues because nobody can make us stop. So, Michelle, let me ask you a question. When you carry, what do you carry?
Well,
A gun. It's a gun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a gun.
Are you like me because you have access to different ones? You carry different ones at different times?
It depends on, yes, the situation, because I either have a small semi-auto or I have a small revolver. The first one was the revolver. That was my first preference. And the reason was because they came out with I have a Ruger, I have a SP-101 in the 327 mag, and it just opened up a variety of other rounds that I could shoot in it without having to shoot the Magnum round, but then having the advancement of the 327 mag. So that was my first passion. But I also have a small 38 and then let's say a little 380. So it really just depends on what's happening. Clothing makes it.
I'm afraid we're going to do the clothing. I was going to say that's Jane Ann from Gunsight years ago. Just out of the blue, I said, well, she carries a 45 in 1911. I said, well, what do you do when you wear your dress and all? She says, well, I just stick it in my bra. I just small gun. I just stick it in my bra. And I honestly had nothing after that. I got nothing for you.
Like, okay.
Okay, moving on.
So how's the weather?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
It's one of those things that takes a lot of time and a lot of focus to dress properly, to conceal carry is hard.
More difficult for women.
Probably, yes. When the size of the jean has to increase, they can be crushing.
If you add 2 inches to the waist size on the jeans, it's not going there.
Well, but
guys will say, "Yeah, I had to get my pants a little bit bigger to allow for my concealed carry." We don't care.
Right? Like I have to go to size what? But it does take a lot of work, and depending on the situation, I'm a big person of having the firearm on the person rather than with the person. I think concealed carry purses are convenient if you're going to keep it on your shoulder at all times. But it's better to have it
even across. I would say over your head and across your body.
Yeah, the cross draw purses.
Method.
Yeah, but
the cross draw deal.
But
I know, but it's not ideal.
No, absolutely not. I mean, like I said, it's an option, but the person is always the best place, and the waistband's the easiest, I think, for women to conceal. Men
and I've
too.
been using the Tuckable holsters where you can tuck your shirt tail in around the holster, and so you don't have to wear a cover garment, but you could just reach over and you could rip a shirt tail out, and you're carrying either a compact or full size gun. And I like the Tuckable holsters. Something the Crossbreed holsters, of course, has them, and other people have Tuckable holster designs too. So just a thought for people always trying to find the options out there. Today, what am I doing? Today I've just got a inside the waistband, but not tuckable because I've got a little cover garment on.
Well, and I don't want to say that it's just limited to clothing. It's dependent upon the activity that you're going to take part in or what you're going to go and do for the evening too.
So if you're going to the biker bar, what gun do you wear? That's the question.
I don't go to the biker bars.
I'm not carrying in my bra at the biker bar. Definitely not.
They won't let you. They won't let you in anymore. She's just too tough for them.
That's right.
What it amounts to.
That's right. Been bounced out.
All right, let's talk to. Let's see if we can get Ryan on hold. He's been on hold for a little while. Hey, Ryan, driving through Oklahoma. You still there?
I've got a legal question for you. Unfortunately, I was involved in a domestic violence situation and pled guilty to it. About 18 years ago, I had been a shooter and a hunter most of my life. Since that happened, I gave my guns up sold them off to friends and family. I still can go shoot them at family, on their land and things like that. But I don't personally possess any of them, just for legal reasons. But I've been told by several people that I can get that expunged. I've contacted a lawyer. It's been several years, but the lawyer that I talked to just really didn't want anything to do with it.
What state do you live in, Ryan?
I live in Colorado. I'm a truck driver.
Okay.
I'm actually driving right now through Oklahoma, but I have a hands-free set, so don't worry.
Sure. All right. Well, what you have run into is what was called the Lautenberg Amendment back then. And it's the first time in the history of our country where you can lose your constitutional rights for the conviction of a misdemeanor. And what it said was for domestic violence charge, if you have pled guilty to it or found guilty of it, then you can't own a gun. Well, The problem was, and I think this is what has happened to you, there were people who years and years ago, through in a divorce, in a whatever, and they said, the lawyer said, look, just it's $25 or it's $100, plead guilty to this thing, make it go away. And they did, not knowing that in future years, a decade or two later, they would pass a law that said, oh, that now means you can't own a gun anymore. And that's where you are now. You with this domestic violence charge. I am not a lawyer, okay? And I don't know if you can get your gun rights back by having the records expunged, or I don't know how that works, honestly. And I think probably you're going to have to you have to go lawyer shopping and find somebody who's involved in that. I would try to find the gun owner group in Colorado, and there are several good ones there. Find a gun rights group in Colorado, get to know those guys online. They'll have a website, and then just ask the question, who's a lawyer around here I could talk to about this? And they will know a lawyer who is conversant with the gun laws and who might be able to help you. That would be about the best avenue I can think of. Guys, you have any thoughts?
Have you Googled expunging your record for your state, something as simple as a Google search? Have you done that?
No, I haven't. So
might be a simple way to start.
Sounds like I've got some groundwork to do, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to take some work, and it's going to take some money. But I wish you luck with it. Yeah, you got caught. You got caught up by the Lautenberg deal.
Yeah, I wish I would have had a lawyer to begin with, and possibly, it could have possibly turned out differently. But like you said, I just pled guilty to it. I didn't know it was going to be a permanent thing at the time.
Well, yeah, and nobody did, because they passed the law afterwards, and they made it retroactive for everyone. So, and it even caught a lot of police officers who had same deal. They're in a divorce, and the wife said, "Oh, he hit me. I'm going to file charges." And the lawyer said, "Look, don't worry about this. It's not a big deal. It's $25. Just plead guilty to it, make it go away." Well, then 20 years later, all of a sudden, he can't be a police officer anymore because he can't own a gun. I'd want to find out, Ryan, if it is, in fact, actually legal for you to shoot guns and handle guns. And that I don't know. I know that if you're a convicted felon, you can't even hold a gun. I don't know if that applies to the domestic violence prohibition or not.
Right.
So anyway, just for him to know.
Well, it seems like it's kind of ex post facto. It's after the fact they change the law, and that's it's going back on something that it just doesn't seem it's legit.
And it's been challenged in court and been upheld. I think it's just wrong. Wow. It was Frank Lautenberg, the anti-gun guy, and they pushed this through. And here's the problem: nobody in Congress is going to introduce a bill to do away with that, because they will immediately charge with the anti-gunners saying, "Oh, you want wife beaters to have guns."
Right. You want to put the guns back in the hands of felons?
Nobody's going to touch that.
Yeah.
And they're not felons. This is misdemeanors. This is the thing. They're not felonies.
Right, but I'm saying even on some felonies, white collar crime. Some guy embezzled money 20 years ago, and he can't own a gun.
But there's not a legislator out there who's going to touch that.
Right. We have an after show first for you here, Tom. Yes. We have a special guest in the studio.
Lay it on me.
Are you ready for this?
I don't know.
I just wanted to say hi and happy 20th anniversary with Gun Talk.
Outstanding, Jasmine. How are you, dear?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So tell me what you have been shooting.
Recently, I got a 22 Smith & Wesson M&P.
Ooh, you got the M&P 22 compact, I understand.
Yep.
So you're shooting a Smith & Wesson M&P pistol. How old are you now?
11.
No, you're not. You're 6.
That's how we want to remember you.
That's right. I remember you as being 6. You can't be 11. This is just not right. Oh, my gosh. And she got really good looking, too, at the same time. Definitely favors her mother, that's for sure.
Oh,
that hurt. Well, that's great. Thank you so much. Jazz, it's really good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you, too.
All righty. You take care. All right, guys. I'm just thinking about kind of the things we're going to see at SHOT Show, new things. I think probably a lot of pistols. I know of a few rifles from some gun makers they'll be announcing, but, kind of variations on a theme, some bolt actions and variations there, some caliber choices. But I haven't heard of anything that's like earth-shaking yet. So it's always fun to go there and find out, okay, is there anything here that's really new and different, like a totally new action, for instance?
Yeah, so you're more hardware guy. I'm more of the infrared stuff and thermal imaging and more the technology side. I'm looking forward to see what kind of stuff's coming because the prices come down.
You'll be able to see the zombies coming at night. I know.
I just think this stuff's cool, and the pricing on all that stuff, like most technology, drops relatively quick. I mean, what was a good thermal system a couple of years ago? $10,000.
$10,000. Yeah,
yeah, and they're rapidly getting to the point where every man may be able to afford them.
True, absolutely true. The other area that's getting real interesting is lasers. Lasers are getting better and better fast. More people getting into the laser market, but you look at like the move to green, I think, is huge. And I got to tell you, even though they're a little more expensive, having used them a bunch, there are so many situations where the red, if it's marginal light, you might not see it as well, and the green just pops. Even out at the range in sunlight, the green just is there.
Yeah.
I'm such a fan of those things.
Well, it's still not a reason, obviously, to lose sight of your iron sights. I mean, perfect situation. You have a red laser now, or you can only afford a red laser. It still shouldn't be your primary sighting system.
No, but I will tell you, some of the stuff we did with first-person offender, I'm thinking of one lady, she had shot very little. It was very obvious. She had shot very little. And we had her in a bed, leaning on one elbow, shooting one-handed at a target, and we had a laser on it, and we covered up the sights completely with black duct tape. And she was shooting the littlest groups with this laser. It just knocked me out how well she was shooting.
Now, do you find when you practice with the laser, you're using it as your primary sight, and you're using your iron sights as your backup?
It all depends. If the light's good enough to use the irons, I use the irons.
Okay.
But what I find, and this is the beauty of it, and this is why when I sight in the laser, I want it to be just below where the iron sights are, so that if I look at my iron sights and line them up on target, I don't want to see the laser. I want it to be a little bit below the iron sights. But if I were to pull the gun up and it's too dark and I can't see the iron sights, what's your natural tendency going to be? You're going to pull your head up, and when you pull your head up, you will see the laser on target.
Ah, okay. So what are you, about a half inch off at 25 feet or
something?
Put it
about a half inch low. And, if for self-defense situations, that matters not. You could put it an inch to a half inch low so that you can't see it when the sights are lined up.
Right.
But then if you can't see your sights, you're going to pull your head up, and then boom, there's the laser. Oh, got it. And just continue on. Carry on.
See, the things we learn on Gun Talk, Michelle.
I know. So when you practice that, Tom, do you practice that, and I'm being serious here, with the lights on or lights off in your range facility?
Both.
Both. Yeah.
Now, never with the lights, almost never with the lights completely off.
Right, but dimmed way down.
We can do that. Yeah, we have them dimmed down. Or the other thing is having a light on your gun, and that's one of the areas where I think Crimson Trace has done real nice work. That light guard is so small, it can go on the front of the trigger guard on a lot of pistols.
Right.
If you have the Crimson Trace grip laser, you can actually have the light on the front, and you don't have that big flashlight thing underneath your pistol. Right. That's a great system. So here's the other thing I've learned, just kind of pass along stuff, because I steal this from everybody. I don't actually come up with any of this myself. We're all carrying these flashlights that are 200 lumens, 300 lumens, 500 lumens. A couple of guys who are SWAT guys, they said, look, 100 is fine, and anything more than that actually becomes detrimental. I said, why is that? He said, you go into a room, it's dark, your eyes are dilated. If you hit the room with 500 lumens, you can't see anything either.
Right.
So I tried it, and he's right. And everybody goes in and turns on a light inside a room, they're practicing with their stuff, but they haven't gone into the room and sat there for 5 or 10 minutes and let their eyes really dilate, get used to the dark. Then you turn on a bright flashlight, and you just blow your own eyesight out. So 100 lumens is just fine. You don't really need anything more than that.
Interesting.
Okay.
Unless, of course, like me, you're spotlighting, alligators in the swamp out here, which is, we do that all the time.
Nice.
We're going to be doing, they're going to get a load. We can actually say this now, because next week, everybody gets lots of after show, right?
Yep. All after show, all the time.
And then we're doing 2 shows from the SHOT Show.
Yep, I'm stoked.
And Jim's going to be there.
Ooh, I'm stoked.
I'm just jealous.
Michelle, have you ever made it to the SHOT Show?
Never. Never.
No.
Nope. I'd love to go.
We may have to see what we can arrange for next year. If you're good. You have to be good all year.
All right. It's like waiting for Christmas.
You'll set a precedent now.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Oh, interesting.
All right, guys. Well, Jim, I will see you in Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Michelle, I'll chat with you after all that foolishness is done.
Yay. Thanks. I'll be here.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Hey, we appreciate you listening to the Gun Talk After Show. Be sure and tell your friends, and remember, everything Gun Talk is available 24/7 at guntalk.com. Be sure and join Tom, Jim, Michelle, and Michael for another Gun Talk After Show next week right here.